We gather here today to remember a man who has received many blessings during his life, but who, in turn, shared those blessings with his fellow human beings many times over. Don Fisher was an American original. He was a self-made man who, along with his wife Doris, turned a small but bright idea into a global retail empire. Starting with one Gap store, selling jeans and records on Ocean Avenue in 1969, Don developed an innovative retail model that now operates in every major market in the United States and also around the world. Of course, his success made him well-to-do, and his vision made him legendary, but his heart kept him humble. Don's greatest material success did not define him. It simply provided him with the means to fully realize the passion and generosity that were the hallmarks of this philanthropy. It's not every Republican who could or would entrust his eulogy to a Democrat. But those of us who knew Don knew and know that he was about more than politics, just as he was about more than business. Don wanted to make the world a better place. He sought to harness the brilliance and energy that had brought him prosperity in business so that he could make success possible for others. And so he focused his charitable efforts on the one issue with the greatest potential to do just that: education. Over the years, Don and Doris Fisher donated more than $100 million to two educational programs that were very dear to their hearts: the Knowledge is Power program, known as KIPP, and Teach for America. I had the pleasure of going to Hunters Point KIPP with Don a few years ago and saw the wonder of that very special school. Don knew that not every child is lucky enough to receive the kind of education that provides the foundation for his success, and he sought to level the playing field. As a result of this dedication, tens of thousands of children have reaped the benefit of free, open enrollment, college prep, charter schools that KIPP operates in underserved communities across the nation. And many more have benefited from exposure to the brilliant and dedicated teachers who epitomize the Teach for America program. Don's commitment to education didn't end with the swipe of a pen on a check. He actively engaged himself with the day-to-day workings of these programs. I cannot tell you how many times he told me about them, how many times he asked me to go to see KIPP before I actually did with him. He served as chairman of the board of directors of KIPP until the day he died, and he never hesitated to offer his personal time and strategic guidance to Teach for America. In this quiet way, Don created for himself a living legacy with an impact that we can never really fully calculate. He changed the lives of so many young children for the better. And these children will grow up to be educated and successful adults. And their children will someday inherit a world made better by Don's vision and purpose. He planted seeds that will continue to grow and flourish always. He made a tremendous impact on primary education, but he left his mark on the University of California as well, something my husband has a great love for. And I know that Don was very proud to have established the Fisher Center for Real Estate and Urban Economics at his alma mater, UC Berkeley. Joseph Conrad once said that you can judge a man by his foes as well as by his friends. Don's foes were the ignorance and inequality that can rob an innocent child of the opportunity to succeed. And Don's friends have filled 2 piers on San Francisco Bay this morning. What a showing. And that's not counting those who wanted to but just couldn't be here, like myself. Don loves San Francisco. He spent his life in this city, and he gave back just as much, if not more, than he ever received. San Francisco is a great city, and it's because of her great people. People like Don, people who put back, people who care. He exemplified the spirit of our great city. Tireless, innovative, visionary, munificent. Don Fisher played the home-time hero role on too many occasions to count. But three stick out in my mind as a former mayor and someone who has known Don for more than 30 years. In 1992, Don joined a number of other San Francisco business leaders, some of whom are at the funeral today, to save San Francisco's baseball great Giants team from moving to Tampa. Don had a deep love of sports, but he was never a big baseball fan. But he understood how much the team meant to the city, and he said yes and took action. Later, in 1996, Don was one of 6 people appointed by the Clinton administration to the Presidio Trust, the group charged with transforming the former military base into the nation's first privatized park. In 1982, when I was mayor, Don spearheaded efforts to restore our aging cable car system in time for the 1984 Democratic Convention. It was a resounding success. We raised $10 million in the private sector to match a federal grant. And, you know, success by that time, I guess, was coming easily to Don, but not so easily to those of us who had to ask people for money. He represented the best of this city that I love so much, a city made better because he called it home. In his final months, Don worked hard to orchestrate one last gesture of gratitude and generosity for the people of our city. As most of you know, he amassed one of the world's premier private art collections. And now, thanks to a partnership with the San Francisco Museum of Modern Art, this collection will be permanently housed in an expanded wing here in San Francisco for everyone to enjoy in the future. Well, that's the kind of man he was. A public man, a man of action, a paragon of philanthropy and accomplishment. And we will miss him. But more than anything, as I found over the years, Don was a family man. And it's Don's family that truly feels his loss in the deepest sense today. In August, Don wrote that marrying Doris was the best decision he ever made. They were partners in every endeavor. And so our thoughts and prayers are with you, Doris, as well as with your sons, Bill, John, and Bob. I know it's very hard to lose your guiding light, but I hope you can find comfort in the fact that Don's life work will continue in you, and it will continue to illuminate the lives of so many people in San Francisco and all across this great nation for a long, long time to come. Thank you, Don Fisher.